What's up, guys? Justin here, founder of Get Up and Go Kayaking. Today I wanted to spend some time and go a little bit deeper into my why. Why do I donate a portion of every booking to Conservation Florida and different organizations like the Florida Springs Council and the Florida Springs Institute, Save the Manatee? Why do I do that? Starting out Get Up and Go Kayaking, I had no idea where the business would be 7 years later, over 7 years later. The first 2 years, I was the tour guide. I was also the business owner. I was the admin with help of my wife. I was the social media person. I was everything in between. And I had a full-time job. So I was going to give tours on the weekends after work. During the week, I would go give tours, and then on the weekends as well. As we started going viral online and the business started growing, there was a clear need to hire tour guides because I couldn't be on the water 7 days a week and answering phone calls, answering emails. I was just missing out on business by being out on the water. I loved it. Part of the reason I started the company is because I do have a passion for being outside and outdoor and everything Florida. Like I love living in Florida. And as we started going viral, there was a big need to hire that tour guide. There was this kid named Alex who reached out to me on Instagram, and his Instagram handle was Finding Wild Florida. So I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. Like that fits what I'm doing. His page was filled with videos of him exploring, free diving, just exploring different places and springs around Florida and wild places around Florida, down in the Keys. Like he had a lot of things that were definitely on brand with what I was trying to do. I remember he sent me a DM and just offered his help. He didn't really have an amazing pitch. It was literally just, hey, I see what you're doing. I really enjoy the kayaking and being outside and adventuring, and is there any way that I can help? And so Alex and I got on a phone call. I kind of like interviewed him. You know, I didn't really know exactly what the position was. The company was still kind of new. We didn't have a crazy amount of customers until this point when we started going viral. Alex started working for me back in 2017. Over the first couple months of him working for me, he would get like amazing reviews. I remember having people that were out on the water with him send me direct messages to our main Instagram page saying, Alex was an amazing tour guide. I can't wait to bring my family or friends back to experience a tour with Alex. Like he would go above and beyond, taking photos for everyone, jumping off trees, jumping in the water, having the guests get out and jump around in the water. And you could tell that his love for the water, his love for everything Florida really translated into the customers that he had out on the water. One day at the end of that year, 2017, December 27th to be exact, I remember getting a phone call from Alex's dad. And before that even happened, he was supposed to have tours in the morning at like 9 a.m. A customer called me at 9 saying, hey, I'm here, but I don't see any tour guide here. So obviously I'm like, I wonder what's going on. Maybe Alex overslept or something like that. So I'm trying to figure out what's happening. I tried giving Alex's phone a ring, but it went immediately to voicemail, which told me that his phone was probably dead, and furthered my thought of like, okay, maybe he missed his alarm and slept in. But when I got this phone call from his dad was immediately concerned, relayed the concern to me, and instantly I realized that something bigger was going on than just Alex oversleeping. And mind you, Alex had never missed a shift, loved what he did. It was not like him to not show up to a tour. So I learned that Alex the previous day was free diving at Silver Glen Springs in Florida. One of the park people ended up finding a bag of his stuff. I think it was like his phone, his wallet, and his keys, because his car was still in the parking lot at the end of the previous day. So they, went searching for him. Because Alex is known to go free diving, obviously we were all concerned, and it took about 2 weeks for us for divers to finally confirm the thought that Alex just had never resurfaced from free diving. And they did so many dives to try and find him over those 2 weeks, and every dive was coming up with no luck. These are divers that are going down with full tanks of air, whereas Alex just went down on a breath. We had some hope that maybe, he was just missing or something like that. But after that 2 weeks, on the very last dive, actually, they did find Alex down in the cave system. It was a really difficult and interesting time. Alex was the first person to take a risk on being a part of my business. And he was my first ever hire, like the first person that I trusted with my equipment, that, I really knew that he was the person for the job. Everything on his Instagram, everything that I got to talk to him about in person, all of the feedback that I was getting from the customers, like Alex was the person made for that job. Oddly enough, his dad was one of the last people to ever go out on a tour with him prior to him passing away. And it's this really kind of heartwarming, but also sad feeling of knowing that his dad got to see him doing what he really loved doing, but also that was one of the last times that he was able to do what he loved doing. And so the whole process of him being lost, and then finally, I went to Silver Glen Springs with Alex's brother, David, and we went looking for him, and we went with Alex's dog to try and see if the dog would, pick up any of Alex's scent. And I remember a moment where the dog sat in front of the spring, and in my head, I kind of knew that's where Alex was. And, over a couple more days, it was determined that is where Alex was. Alex really taught me to appreciate what's around me more than just the face value of what it is. One of the most interesting parts of this whole thing is one of the first tours I ever brought Alex on, he showed me a wild orange tree that I had never noticed in the 2 years of doing tours out on the waterway. And his first day out there, he noticed it. It was like tucked away, hidden in the shoreline, off the waterway, and I had never seen it. And that was one of the first things he ever taught me about. And the day after he was missing, I had to go out and give tours because he was supposed to give the tours. And as I was out there, we're in the waterway. I kid you not, I'm at the top of the waterway, which happens to be the prettiest part of the entire waterway. A wild orange just comes floating down the waterway. To me, it was like a clear sign from Alex. I remember picking that orange up. I ate it, and I remember, I believe he told me like wild Florida oranges are a little more sour than, ones that are grown on a farm. And I remember it being a little sour, but the idea of what this meant was crazy to me. It like blew my mind that this just happened right in front of me. And so throughout the years, I've really tried to better look around me and realize what's there beyond just the face value of the nature, the wildlife, the waterways, all of these things. And I wanted to do something special to help remember Alex for years to come. So I asked his family what was the best organization that they could come up with in order for me to donate on a continuous basis. And at first it started out as just a yearly donation on the anniversary of Alex's passing. So they chose Conservation Florida, which is an amazing company that purchases land and preserves it so that it can't be built on. So over the years, I donate 100% of my earnings on December 27th to Conservation Florida and to other organizations. And then throughout the years, it turned into me donating a portion of every single booking to go to some sort of conservation. I realized that we are the ones using the waterways. We are the ones operating on different lands, and I want to protect these things for years to come. And so that's a huge reason why we educate all of our customers that come through on the best ways that they can recreate in the Springs or wherever it is that we operate, this is my why. This is why I donate a portion of all of my tours to Conservation Florida and other organizations. Alex really taught me to love what's around me and look further. Over the years, I've taken that with me. There's been so many moments where Alex reminds me that he's present. I still stay in touch with his entire family. You know, it's extremely sad what happened, and it was a really difficult time. But I'm very, very thankful that Alex was a part of my life and has become one of the big reasons why I do what I do. I wanted to share this with you guys because I think it's an important story to share. And I also think that maybe you can gain some value from what Alex has taught me. It's a tough conversation to have, but I wanted to share with you guys how impactful one person, one moment, one thing can be in someone else's life. So take that into consideration as you're connecting with other people and talking with other people, because I think we can all do a better job of being a little more caring and being a little more cautious of what we have right under our feet and what we have right around us. That's my why, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And I'd love to hear your why. If you want to share that with me, I'd be super grateful to hear what it is that makes you do what you do. Rest in peace to Alex.